Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Hello, guys.
I'm with
Welcome.
Whiskey Pete,
Good evening. How are you? I'm Whiskey Pete. And this is French Alex.
Frenchy Delish,
Yeah, Frenchy Delish.
MrCognac.com. And what are we gonna do tonight, Whiskey Pete?
Well, I thought we might drink some cognac while we're hanging out on your terrace. And but I also brought along some cigars. So we do a bit of cognac and cigar
cigars.
matching.
I know
Couple of Cubans.
couple of Cubans, Havana cigars,
Mhm.
and then we're in good company. We have the Do Cognac as well, cigar blend, Jean-Philippe Cigar Club,
Yes.
35-year-old. And then there's another one, Triumph, that I need to go get in the garage. And then you.
Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't get around it. We got a little sidetracked.
Yes.
We got distracted setting up. So we appreciate your patience and waiting for us to come online and get ourselves organized. But we're going to settle in. We're probably going to be here, I reckon, for about an hour and a half. We have a pile of guests from around the world.
Yeah, hopefully they should.
We've got more Frenchies. We've got a Frenchie in Hong Kong and a Frenchie in Sydney, right?
Yeah, so.
And Whiskey Pete from fucking Camden.
From Camptown. Where is Camptown? Where is Camptown?
Well, it's about half an hour past Campbelltown, so it's less teeth the further out you get. That's where I'm from.
And I'm from France.
Yeah.
Cognac region, I come
Funny
all the way. So we have the cellar master of Do Cognac coming online. We're gonna chat with him.
Yeah.
You guys can leave any comments. Whiskey Pete is very, very, very knowledgeable.
Oh,
And
I don't know about that. Very alcohol infused.
Is alcohol infused in cigar, cognac, whiskey.
And before we go any further, just to cut you off, guys, I hope you understand the amount of effort that my good friend Frenchy Delish, French Alex, has put into this tasting this evening to coordinate 4 other guests, including myself, to be here. Another one in Sydney, virtually. Another one in Hong Kong, different time zone, and another one in France. During the middle of COVID is very, very hard to do. So I hope you understand the effort that's gone in tonight, and we promise we will reward your attention with lots of quality information and drunken rambles.
Sounds good. Thank you for the shout out. It's
you deserve it, my friend.
You do that for the love, huh? The love of the alcohol, to promote, to give a platform to smaller cognac house, to connect as well with the people.
To connect the worlds, right? And so for those of you that don't know me, which is probably most of you, I teach people about whiskey and cigars. I've been involved in the whiskey industry for the last 18 years. I currently own an events agency that hosts whiskey and cigar events. And that's coming.
What's happening here?
Oh, yeah, that's another business I have called Bespoke Bottlings, where we bottle custom whiskeys for corporate and military clients. But so I've been teaching people about tobacco for about 12 years. I also lived in Cuba for 6 months and managed to bribe my way into a master cigar rollers course.
Wow, that's what I say. He's very knowledgeable, but he played down.
I'm just a big believer in do what you love doing and work out a way to make a buck out of it. And I love drinking, smoking, and wearing cowboy hats, so I'm going to work out a way to make a buck out of that.
And I wear flowery jacket in the jungle.
Yeah, exactly, right.
We have some people from the Cognac Lover Austria group tonight.
Welcome, Cognac Lovers Australia.
Christopher Poulos, Akilas.
I know
from
Mr.
Melbourne.
Poulos. If that's the Chris Poulos, I think it is. Also, is a big fan of Cadillacs. If it's the Chris Poulos, I think it is.
Maybe.
Chris, are you Cadillac Chris?
Are you Cadillac Chris?
Let us know. Oh, Nathan, welcome. How are you, bud?
Athan Hatcher. Hello. Boom. Let's
get some flow.
Let's get some started with the Do Napoleon.
Yeah,
cognac.
are we patching someone in with each cognac? Is that the story?
Yeah, that's the story, but I'm wondering where this person is.
Oh, right, they're not here yet?
So I'm going to send a little message.
We're going to text France, don't mind us.
Let's see what's
cool.
happening.
While we're in the middle of that, though, I've never spotted this cognac in my life. My experience with cognac, I've worked for a heap of different cognac companies. I worked for Remy Martin, Courvoisier. I launched Hein Cognac, which we're going to have later. I launched it in Australia with Island to Island. I've worked for Martell and even did a little bit of work with Macau or Mucow or however you're meant to pronounce it when you don't have an Aussie bogan accent. However, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this bottle of Do Cognac before. but the actual bottle, the shape on it is really, really interesting and quite sexy, quite endearing, almost reminiscent of the tail end of a tobacco leaf, I feel, which I also have here to show you, but I might crack this and pour some booze out.
Yeah, let's go.
Without further ado,
I'm
which
gonna
is
wait
French,
for...
but let's drink some shit.
Let's drink some good... This is a Napoleon blend.
Yeah.
So it's between a VSOP and an XO.
Yeah.
It's a very good value.
So let's
for
talk,
money.
let's talk through the definitions quickly, what VS, VSOP, XO, into the age statements.
So you start with VS, which is
stands for
very special. Then you have VSOP, very superior old pale. And then this one is not, it's Napoleon, so it's not officially recognized, but it's we know.
But
Napoleon's,
based on its age statement, it sits between VSOP, and very special old pale, and XO, which is extra old.
Yeah, and then there's a new one, XXO, that has...
Which is that in-between category where Remy Extra and Paradis and that kind of thing sits. So it's sort of cognacs from, I think it's 15 to 30 or 45 or something.
Because XO is
now to 12 or something. They've pulled the age statements back on them recently.
So XXO was 8.
Yeah.
XO 6, VSOP 4, and then VS 2.
Yeah. When I started in cognac, VS was 2 to 4. VSOP was 4 to 8. XO was 8 to 20.
Yeah.
And then it went from there. So what's happened, and the reason we're talking about them winding back age statements is it's about supply and demand. And because cognac's so delicious, and obviously there's a certain aura to it of it's a premium bespoke. I think Busta Rhymes actually has a lot to do with the success of cognac, right? Past the Courvoisier. But there is this aura of premium bespoke drinking, right? Like it's that image of big brandy balloons, bear skin rug by the fireplace, old wanker with a cigar.
I know we are putting cognac on the map again.
Well,
making cognac great again.
Exactly, and I think the point is that cognac is such a beautiful, dense, delicious spirit that there is a cognac. There is a cognac for everyone, and it can go everything from a very light palate or a softer drinker or someone that drinks vodka lime sodas. You can start with something that is soft enough that it'll suit that palate to the big, ballsy, overproof, really strong. There truly is a cognac for everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
And the art is all in the blending, right? You've got all these eau de vies and bringing them together.
The XO,
over to you.
No, it's a good point because the XO, sometimes you would think it's the best, but actually you can find VSOP because they have different flavors, right? Different profile aroma, and then that would be more for you. Maybe if you're a lady, you don't like woody XO,
or if you're a dude that just doesn't like a lot of flavors. But 100%, I agree. Like there's different levels for everyone. But since we've got this cognac in the glass, why don't we stop? We'll take a moment. We'll get this rolling. Let's check the legs on the cognac, and then we'll nose it. We'll get stuck in, and then when your mate from Doe jumps on, we can. Doe.
I'm just trying to find where is Robin?
Robin, are you there?
Robin, are you there? Milton, are you here? I see if I can. I think this one.
That's all right. Why don't we can keep going? But guys, if you are from Doe, make yourself known. We're just waiting for them to patch on in. It might be a time difference problem. They might come in at the end. But why don't we start? So with all my spirit tastings, I like to teach people that there's 3 steps to drinking spirits.
Tell them whiskey.
In fact, 4 steps to drinking spirits. 4 steps. The first, for anyone following on at home, if you do have a cognac, a whiskey, or some sort of spirit in a glass, feel free to follow along with me. This is suitable for all spirit drinking, what I'm about to teach you. We'll call it 50 Whiskey Pete's 4 steps to drinking booze. And by the look of me, I must know something about drinking booze, surely.
For someone.
What have we done?
For someone that
has never tried cognac but loves whiskey, where would I start? Nathan Archer, pipe down. We'll get rolling. I'll help you out as we go along. Don't you worry.
I would do a VSOP on ice.
Nice Ledge, that's a buddy of mine.
Thank you, Nate.
We'll do some business together in the future. We'll see how we go. Right.
So very fruity.
So 4 steps to drinking spirits. Let's just knock this out. It needs to be done. Okay. First step, guys, grab your glasses. Now, you'll notice the glasses we have. These are called tulip glasses. The reason being, obviously, having a stem They're bulbous at the bottom and then they narrow up at the top. The reason for that is the more bulbous it is at the bottom, gives a greater opportunity for the aromatics of your spirit, whether it's whiskey, cognac, gin, whatever the fuck it is. It gives it a greater chance for those aromatics to evaporate. And then by having the narrow mouth on it, as you bring it up to drink it, it actually channels it up your nose. So the glassware is so important in spirits. You know, I know the stereotype of drinking whiskey on the rocks or whatever in the big rocks glass. It doesn't work because 75% of your taste actually comes from aromatics.
And it's gonna blow your nose if you have too much of bigger.
Well, you actually taste with your nose, so you don't want to waste the aromatics that are coming out. So if it's too wise, you're going to lose some of it either side. But by bringing it up under your nose, you'll notice you get a whole lot of flavor. So that's why we have the narrow mouth. So
what flavor can you?
Well, we're getting there.
First, getting excited.
First step to drinking spirits: grab your glasses, ladies and gents, and roll that spirit around the outside. And I'll hold that up. Hold it up to a light and see that thick syrupy nature on the side of the glass. They call that the legs. See the drips? Yeah, stop spinning it. See the drips that's there, the thick syrupy bit, which is on Alex's shirt sleeve. They call that the legs. And what that is a way to determine the viscosity in the spirit, which is how thick and rich it is. Now, the reason that's important is because the thicker and richer it is, the longer it sticks to the side of the glass, the longer it's going to stick inside of your mouth, and the greater length of flavor you're going to get. So that's a sign of quality. So straight away, I haven't tried this cognac before ever, but I have my suspicions based on the nose. You may have saw I caught a cheeky nose. I could tell it was thick and viscous. But if you are on the dough, you can kind of see it there. See how it still has the syrupy nature or the drips on the side of the glass. That's a sign of quality and viscosity and that we're really going to fucking enjoy this. Now, next step is nosing your spirits. Rule of thumb here is just remember, this is France's finest, not Colombia's finest.
You don't take a Colombian
we don't.
nose.
Despite this jacket that looks like you might be in Miami Beach party. I just had this visualization of you on a deck chair with like a coconut and anyway.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, or pineapple with a cocktail in it. Don't mind me. But I've forgotten where I was going with that. Oh,
but
yeah.
The nose.
Yeah. France's finest, not Colombia's finest. So when you bring it up to nose your spirit, you really want to take your time with it. You don't want to just whack your nose in and just draw it back. You want it to kind of roll over. But try it now. Give it a little whiff. And you notice you get a bit of that ethanol burn coming through. And that's the alcohol evaporating and settling on your olfactory. Try it again, but with your mouth open. Now, this changed drinking spirits for me for ages.
Camus, the cellar master of Camus, not the cellar master, he was the global VIP brand ambassador, Frédéric Dezosier, the previous testing.
I was an international brand ambassador. Don't you worry.
Camus
hold on it.
He say the same thing when you
opening your mouth.
when you open your mouth.
And the reason is alcohol. This is what I like to say. Alcohol, which whilst is the fun bit that makes you dress like a cowboy and have a great time whenever you wake up to when you go to bed, whilst it's a fun bit, is the enemy of flavor. Alcohol is the enemy of flavor. The reason being, it's a depressant. So if you just throw that spirit back onto your palate without nosing it and setting your palate up, it cauterizes it. It shocks the palate. We've all done it with tequila. Terrible Sierra tequila when we're wearing a plastic sombrero instead of an actual cowboy hat. And you throw it back and you screw your face up. But by nosing your spirit and giving a chance for the alcohol to roll through and slowly ease your palate into it, desensitize it to the alcohol, opens up the sensitivity of flavor. I normally suggest nosing your spirit in about 10-second intervals for at least a minute. So pull it up for about 5 seconds, pull it away for 5, up for 5, away for 5. And what you'll notice is each time you do that, your spirit, no matter what it is, whether it's whiskey, gin, sambuca, will become deeper and richer each time as it slowly desensitizes to the alcohol, opening up the flavor in your spirit. Now, the other way to do it is a couple of drops on your hands, or
you told me that before.
Just flick a bit on your hand. And this is how we do it when I've sat on master blender panels at whiskey distilleries in Scotland and Australia. First whiskey of the day, I love to put a few drips on my hand, spread it together, and the heat in your
Totally
hand.
different.
Alcohol boils. I
Yeah.
think it's a 78 point. It's either 78.3 degrees centigrade or 73.8 degrees centigrade. It boils that, so the alcohol evaporates off quicker with the heat in your hand, and you're left with the flavor on your booze, and that smells
Tell us
delicious.
what you can smell. If you've done that.
So get your nose in there. Let's talk about tasting notes. For me, straight away, I get caramels, butterscotch, raisins, spice, cloves. Straight up, first nose. Stewed apples. It's kind of got that richness. You know, when you've stewed them and boiled it down, the sweetness. Totally. Peaches. And it is quite tropical and floral for a cognac.
Like ananas, pineapple.
Oh, yeah? Ananas.
Ananas.
Yeah. Pineapple for sure. I used to work for Glenlivet, and the tasting note they'd always look for when blending Glenlivet 12, believe it or not, was pineapple. And it's just this weird note that's in every bottle of Glenlivet 12, and that was the flagship note we'd look for first when we were blending barrels. We'd find the pineapple barrel first, and then
from there,
not literally a barrel of pineapples, just a barrel of whiskey that had a note of pineapple. But that's a really complex, delicious nose, and it's quite treacly and sweet and spicy, and I can totally see how they've pulled these eau de vies together to blend into this cognac to match with tobacco, because that spice, that dense sweetness, the golden syrup, treacle kind of notes, it's going to go amazingly with this.
You need some spice and some sweetness to balance.
It's balanced, right?
The cigar.
Yeah.
We're going to have a drip.
Mm-hmm. Take a sip, roll it round. He was cutting everything. Sorry, I should have introduced that. I just got greedy. So when I take my first sip, I like to take a small sip and roll it around and coat everything in the mouth for about 20 seconds.
To wake up the mouth.
Think of it as less violent mouthwash. What you're doing is you're shocking the palate, but slowly you're desensitizing all the nerve endings in there to the alcohol. So it opens up the intense, depletes the sensitivity on the alcohol, opens up the sensitivity of flavor. So I always tell my customers and my event guests that your first sip isn't your first sip. Because it's controversial, and I came up with that when I was 21, very drunk. It's about palate preparation.
Yeah, you prepare your palate.
And what you'll notice is you get all that heat, all that tingle going through, and you'll feel all that warmth going on in your palate. So keep breathing over your tongue. And as you do, you'll feel that warmth and flavor. The warmth will slowly flash off, and that's the alcohol evaporating. And then that flavor almost tunnels into your tongue and then sort of creeps around and gives it a big fucking hug. That's what I find. And that's a sign you kept it in there long enough. If you've got tingling tongue or gums, it's a sign that you kept it in there long enough. Breathe through it until all that heat dissipates, and then we jump back in. Same story, small sip, roll it round, coat everything, 20 seconds, less violent mouthwash, and just focus on how much broader the flavor is and how much more depth and subtlety you get out of it. Because when we talk about cognacs, eau de vies, and brandies, which we will explain what the difference between the three is, stay tuned.
Yeah,
they're very complex, dense spirits with lots of levels of flavor. So they need to be treated as such in terms of taking the time to set your palate up, so you appreciate how much has gone into this. In some cognacs are a blend of up to 120 to 200 eau de vies. So different barrels of brandy before it's blended together.
The blend, do you think the cognac is a controversial question, this one?
What?
The cognac, is this finer than whiskey? Because it has a...
We'll get to that. We'll get some good cognac information down. Then we'll do a battle. Why don't we do a battle at the end, whiskey or cognac, and we'll get everyone to partake. I'll have to send out a couple of tweets and get some reinforcements.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome. If you're just joining us, I'm Whiskey Pete. This is French Alex, Frenchy Delish. We are here to do a cognac and cigar tasting. We are waiting for a couple of our guests to patch in from France, Hong Kong, and our buddy Manu from Sydney as well. We appreciate you hanging in. We will get to those comments shortly as well. We're just kind of trying to burn a little time, really. But maybe what we do,
we're gonna do it without the.
Maybe what we do is we'll do a little bit more on this cognac. A minute on this cognac. We get some stogies going, and we just fucking roll. And whoever comes. What do you reckon? Everyone put your hand up in message if you think we should just get rolling and smoke some cigars and just make some shit happen. John Janowski, my friend, good to see you. And Chris, there you are.
Is it Christopher Poulos that you know?
I'm not sure. He's talking to Nath. I think it is. I think it's Cadillac Chris. Cadillac Chris, is that you? Check in. Let us know.
Do you wanna when I'm organizing this?
Yeah.
Talk a bit more.
Yeah. Why don't I just
What do you think?
Why don't I just take over and do some cigars and stuff?
And you can talk about the cigar
and how it blends, how it matches. Cool.
What do you
awesome.
think?
Let's do that.
To get,
so
the Cellar Master.
Yeah, well, so Alex is just going to work out, and we're trying. Can they still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna free flow with this while Alex tries to work out the Cellar Master.
You're in good hand, guys. You're in good hand.
Meant to be here? Let's talk a little bit about cognac, a bit about cigars, how the two fit together, and what they mean to me. That sounds like fun. Let's do that. So I got interested in spirits at 14. It was whiskey. It was a pub at Camden. And I was really intrigued with this idea of affordable luxury. For $15 a nip, you could try and live like the rich people did. And I grew up really poor, funnily enough. Look at me. But I was always intrigued by this idea of affordable luxury. I hated my first whiskey. It was Lafroig 10. I loved my second whiskey. It was Macallan 18. And shortly after, I was exposed to cognac. I was 17 when I came into contact with cognac. And the first cognac I ever had was a tiny little cognac house known as Seguino. It was Mr. James Caton, a dude that also helped me immensely with my cigar education. And the first cognac I ever had, I had with my second cigar ever. It absolutely blew my mind. In fact, I can attribute my love for cigars, which I work in, day out, and heavily involved in, and as I said, lived in Cuba for 6 months. I can 100% attribute my love for cigars to my first experience with cognac.
Chris, man.
It is Cadillac Chris. There we go. Welcome. The only reason I asked Chris is Alex and I were talking about how we should do a YouTube series called Cognacs and Cadillacs.
Cadillac and cognac.
Yeah, and doing it like the backseat with Whiskey Pete we did, but cognacs and Cadillacs. So anyway, keep that in mind. So my first experience with cigars was with cognac, and it changed my life. And the reason was there's something magnificent about cigars by themselves, and there's definitely something magnificent about cognac by itself. But when you bring them together, it's a match made in heaven. What happens with tobacco is it gives off a slightly alkaline flavor in your mouth. And what by themselves, cognac tastes great. More depth and sweetness out of it, more breadth, and you'll be able to pick up more of the subtleties and idiosyncrasies out of your cognac. But the same again with your tobacco. Without the spirit, it's great. But with the spirit, it just adds another layer, and it's really hard to describe until you've actually done it. But I think let's leave that there, and why don't we talk about how to light, cut, and smoke cigars?
So I got a question.
Yeah.
I've seen, does it matter? Give your opinion when you light up the not the cognac, the cigar. The angle. Does it matter?
Yeah, we can talk through that for sure. Guys, if you wouldn't mind, if anyone's following at home with a cigar this evening, can you comment just so I know who's following along and how far we go into the cigars? In fact, if everyone could comment and write whether you're smoking a cigar or not and what you're drinking, that'd be great, just so we know how to pitch the information so we can relate it to what you're doing. Because I'd love to give you the most tailored experience possible and give you as much information and answer as many possible questions as I can. So the more detail you give me, the more tailored we can make this. So comment below if you're going to smoke a cigar with us this evening, if you're going to have a drink and what it is. That'd be absolutely unreal. Is that at the bottom of the comments there? No one's commented? If you could participate and comment when I ask, that'd be good. Only because I want to help. I want to help you guys.
Well, we have
cool, there we go. Nathan Archer, cigar and nice bourbon. Nate, right? What cigar? What bourbon? We want to know. We want to tailor this to you. So I'm just about to get into how to cut and light a cigar. For those of you that haven't attended a cigar masterclass before, and I know they are few and far between in Australia. In fact, I think I'm one of, I don't know, there might be a couple others that do it. I don't really know. We'll fix that. Don't you worry. But smoking is very French, right? Don't they have cigarette machines in high school set?
Smoke would be a cigar for New Year's Eve.
So With this cigar, guys, I'll just come in here so you can see what I'm. Do you mind if I sit on this? That's what he said. So, with your cigar, there's 3 parts to your cigar. There's the filler, which is the 85 to 90% in the middle. The binder, which is the strong bit around in the middle. Around the outside of the middle. Let's try that again. So the dense bit in the middle is your filler. Then you've got your binder, which pulls it all together. And then you finish it off with your wrapper. 3 different types of tobacco to begin with 3 very different purposes. In your filler, there's, again, 3 styles of tobacco in there to hit 3 different parts to the cigar experience that you'd want to have. Some for flavor, so it tastes good. Some for aromatics, so it smells good. And some for structure, so the ash doesn't fall off the whole time. That's basically the construction of a cigar. Now, with those leaves in the middle, they bring them all together. They wrap them up in the binder. They whack it in a mold for anywhere from 36 hours to 72 hours, depending on where you are, humidity, rain, that kind of thing, to take shape. And then they'll finally wrap it with this beautiful tobacco on the outside. Now, wrapper tobacco costs about 10 times as much. They grow it under shade cloth and they breed it intentionally to have very little veins in it. I don't know if you can see with the light. It might be a bit glary. But if you do have a cigar at home, you'll see there are some veins in there. But they actually breed cigar wrapper tobacco specifically for the purpose. It adds the least to the cigar, but it's all about the texture. Now, the reason I go into that, because I'm going to teach you how to light and cut a cigar. Now, I'm sure many of us have been to the races back when we could all go to the races, and we'd see there'd be a group of dudes that are congregated, a few in snakeskin shoes from their year 10 formal, maybe with rat's tails or mullets, lots of hair gel, and they bought a cigar.
Oh man, we didn't light up the cigar. What's going on?
We're getting there. We're getting there. They bought a cigar from the news agency on the way there, and they cut it way too low, and the whole thing's unraveling, and they're yelling bro a lot and really upset. Most people cut their cigars too low. The important thing to note is when you cut a cigar, you want to take the cap off, but you want to leave the shoulders to your cigar. Just relax. I'm nearly there.
No, because we have a Do Cognac guys.
We're gonna
get them. I'm excited.
30 seconds, right.
All good,
the shoulders on the cigar, you want to leave the shoulders, you want to take the cap. So you bring your cutter in.
That's good.
You line it up like so. I don't know if you can see with the light. You just want the cap, but leave the shoulders. Quick snip. I was too shallow there, so rush.
I like this.
Well, you can watch the replay. There we go.
Yeah,
perfect. See that? See, I've got a nice circle in the middle there. If I can get the.
What do you think about the different way to cut the cigar? You know, sometimes you have.
Yeah. So why don't we do cognac first? We'll get into that later. You can do it.
Your whiskey picture.
Yeah, well, I can do it as well, but I've got to get this rolling so we can do. Where's my blowtorch that I had there? What'd you do with the blowtorch? It was there.
I'm not sure. I didn't touch it.
Oh, I thought I got it in. Keep it rolling. Keep them entertained.
All right.
Show must go on.
I'm gonna get Do Cognac live now. Hey, how are you doing?
I hit it.
Eh? Can you see us?
Hello. Good evening. Or as we say in Australia, how the bloody hell are you?
How are you? So we're gonna get the cigar with
Do you want me to do the lighting of cigars, or you want to do cognac first? I can cut yours.
Cut my one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to like talk about lighting them, or you want to go straight to cognac?
I'm gonna introduce.
Why don't we do cognac? Do that.
And then
I can talk people through after.
Hello, Chris. Yeah. Comment ça va? Vous m'entendez?
Ça va. Oui, je vous entends.
Parlez un peu plus fort. You need to talk a bit louder in the microphone, and after we'll be good. And then I want you to introduce Do Cognac. Okay, so if you can talk a bit about the Cognac house, when it was created, and then about this blend.
Why don't you introduce who it is properly first, and give him a warm welcome so everyone knows who he is.
Hey, this is Christopher from Do Cognac. He's going to introduce himself.
Welcome, Chris.
Welcome, Chris.
Excusez-moi si vous n'entendez pas. Bonjour, je m'appelle Christophe
Thank you for
David.
coming all the way.
Je suis pour la marque Do Cognac. Vous m'entendez là?
It's difficult a bit.
I don't know. Is your volume up?
Yeah, my volume is full. Huh?
Guys, can you comment and let us know if everyone can hear? Can you guys let us know if you can hear our friend in France? We're just struggling to hear him a bit ourselves. Can you let us know in the comments if you can hear properly? It might be our technical difficulties. We're just double checking.
I'm double checking if the volume is full on, otherwise we're just gonna go like this. Maybe your microphone, the input needs to be higher. Normally like this, full on. Yeah, I'm full. Okay, we're just gonna pay close attention when talking. If you can talk closer to the microphone, then that's good.
Yell.
Yeah, oh yeah. All good. All good. Where's your torch, mate? I'm gonna try now. Thank you.
Vous m'entendez?
Maybe should we just move the cognac for us?
Non. Alors là, on est dans la distillerie.
Alexandre, we
Ouais.
are in the distillery, so probably why you are not hearing very well.
Okay, that's all good.
Okay, so
Okay,
just to show you,
they can hear us.
we are in the
The people
distillery.
can
The
hear us,
distillery is working.
but not the Stella Master.
Yeah. They can hear
So-
us, but not them.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, they're in the distillery. Well, maybe they should just take us for a scan through. We'll talk through, and then we get them to go to a quieter spot.
Okay.
Do you want to?
I think you want
Tell
to.
them-
Do you want to? What? Do you want to talk a bit about the Cognac House or show us around? How
But
do you
like
want?
read this, they can't hear it.
It's gonna be difficult to walk around with the microphone if they are.
No, I'm saying they can just do a tour first. We'll talk them through it, and then go to an office where they can hear it.
Might be a lot.
I don't know. It's your show. You run it.
Yeah, just leave it like
Là,
this.
Cool. Go for it, guys. Can everyone hear everyone in France? Sound like he's covering the microphone apparently.
Yes, we are hearing, but
Yeah,
there is a
but we
lot of
can't do
noise in the
windows, so you-
distillery. Can you hear us?
Yeah, no, we.
Oh, that's better. When you yell, it's good. Can you yell like that?
Il faut parler plus fort.
Loud.
D'accord. Alors, là, c'est l'ancienne version de V3.
We have a different bottle. We have this one, and then you have a new version
No,
that is
no,
coming to
It's the
Australia.
same one, isn't it?
There's this
Ça,
one.
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
old bottling, and then
Oh,
the
right,
new
and
bottling.
next to-
There's more modern look.
Là, c'est l'ancienne version que vous avez. Bientôt, vous allez avoir la nouvelle version en bouteille apothèque.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
You need to be watching because I can't hear him.
No, I'm hearing. Can you talk us a bit about is it the same blend and how this blend is made for cigars?
Alors, ça, c'est un assemblage de différents cognacs avec des vieilles qualités pour lors de la dégustation où on ressent les notes de rançon.
English, wrong country.
Non.
Sorry, he doesn't speak
No,
English.
it's so good.
Sinon, tu traduis.
You translate that.
I'm gonna translate. Okay, say again. I was expecting English also. All good, all good. I was last trying. Vas-y, so it's vas-y, parle-moi, y a pas de souci.
D'accord. Alors, c'est un assemblage de différents crus avec des vieilles eaux de vie pour obtenir des notes de rancio.
Okay, so you have different eau de vie, different cognac from different crew. Can you tell which crew we have?
Explain what crew is.
So we have 6 different crews in the cognac region.
Yeah.
You have Grand Champagne, Petit Champagne, Borderie, Fembois. Okay. This one, and the Grand Champagne and Petit Champagne supposed to be the one
The
the
top
finest.
two, the best two regions of cognac, the best grapes and the best quality cognac come from Grand Champagne first, then Petit.
And then many people think that way, but actually there's I've been meeting other cognac producer, and then there's some area that if they know the area, they can find very good
patches.
So
and it's about the minerality in the soil. This is why the Sorry, the terroir is so important with cognac and champagne in general. Sorry, we should let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Alors,
tell me, dis-moi quel cru c'est, quel cru.
alors, il y a
Go
l'assemblage de
forward. Why don't
petits
you go
champagnes.
forward? Have a conversation with him and translate it so you can hear it. Just go sit up there, do this bit, and do it in like 3 minutes, and then like translate it all, and then we can do it that way. So, guys, Alex is just going to come up the front so he can translate French for you, so we know what's happening. Make sure you're on camera so people can see your face. Yeah, we'll turn that light down and just have a conversation with him, and I'll jump in after.
Alors, il y a un assemblage de grande champagne à 5% dedans,
Grand
avec
champagne,
de la petite
5%, ok.
champagne. Il y a à peu près 20% de petite champagne.
Ok. Ouais, c'est bon, c'est good, Alice.
On a des fins bois et on a un petit peu de bon bois dedans.
Ok, fin bois, bon bois, 5% of Grand Champagne, little bit of Borderie, tu m'as dit Borderie aussi?
Non, il n'y a pas de borderie dans ce.
Grand Champagne, petit Champagne, bon
Fin
bois.
bois et bon bois.
Okay, so it's a blend of different cru. And what were you trying to achieve with this blend to match with cognac? Qu'est-ce que tu as voulu faire avec ce cognac pourquoi il va bien avec les cigares?
Parce que c'est la petite note de rancio qui va exprimer
The rancio in a cognac.
le rancio. Et
Will
lors de la
match with
dégustation,
Yeah.
on a une note de figues et de fruits mûrs.
So you should be tasting.
You need to be on camera so people can see your face, so they understand what you're saying.
Des fruits, tu as dit?
Alors, on va dire de fruits confits et,
Like plum.
et une petite note de café à la fin qui ressort.
Plum and coffee. Maybe we should have another pour.
Yeah,
Huh?
fucking
Yeah.
damn straight. I think that translates. Parlez-vous damn straight.
Faut le déguster, mettre une goutte en bouche et après fumer son cigare. Et ça va
Voilà.
exalter les arômes.
Alors, we're gonna have a little sip of this one, and then
And we'll get him to talk through and translate tasting notes and stuff.
talk us through the tasting note, ok? Tu vas nous parler des tasting notes avec le cigare.
Alors, quand on va d'abord déguster, on va humecter le verre. On va commencer à ressentir une petite note de vanille. On
Vanilla.
commence
And the vanilla is coming from the Limousin
Limousin oak, French oak,
French oak.
which is quite a hard oak.
Ça vient du bois, la vanille.
Ça vient de la cuisine.
Oui, ça vient du chêne et c'est en fonction de la chauffe du bois. Après, c'est un assemblage des autres goûts.
The heat of the wood will also influence the cognac. I'm sure it's the same in whiskey.
Yeah, and it makes sense. So French oak tends to be quite tannic, and tannic oak leaves that slightly dry flavor in there. But then when you pair that with the heat in your alcohol, it can be quite dry and almost come across as spicy. And that spicy bright note that comes along with it goes really well with cigars, and cigars tend to temper it. But it seems to make the heat of the spirit. It takes a little bit of the heat out, but it almost brings some intensity to the cigar at the same time. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. The spice would go well and bring the intensity.
It's a beautiful combination. I can see how they've layered the flavors in to try and make it work. There are those deep, rich molassesy treacle kind of notes, which are almost reminiscent of like a Ronzacapa or something like that. But then you've got those other notes that come in. There's lots of citrus in there, lots of orange peel and zesty kind of notes, which softens the sweetness and adds that next layer in. Then you've got your vanillins and then your spice on top. And this is stacked really well together in the same way that you would sample and nose the leaves that you were going to roll into a cigar with the intention of filling different flavor profiles. You can see as they've blended their eau de vies together, which is the raw spirit that is blended together to make cognac. You can see they've stacked it together very deliberately, and I can see how well you can see and taste how well it pairs.
Let me try now.
I just rewatched how many times my hand went up and down that because we've got a bit of a delay.
Yes.
I'm a little animated.
Yeah. Bien deal. Ok, Christophe. Donc, on disait qu'il y avait des épices un petit peu dans ce
Oui.
cognac.
On peut retrouver des notes épicées et un petit peu de café aussi. En dégustant comme il faut.
Of course, and which is a very standard tasting note for cigars as well, especially cigars that use Maduro tobacco. And it's got that chocolate coffee kind of note, which these Quintero Favoritos does have Maduro in it. So it has
the cigar and the cognac. The cognac tastes better.
They're great by them. It's like Bert and Ernie, I say. They're great by themselves, better together, right? And that's why I was saying the tobacco leaves that slightly alkaline taste in your mouth, so it brings out the sweetness and breadth to your spirit. And it's hard to explain until you've tried it and really brought them together. When I bring my spirit and cognac together, sorry to our guests there. I like to have a sip of the cognac or the whiskey, roll it round, maybe a couple, puff on the cigar, roll it round, blow it out through the nose if you know how, but if not, through the mouth's fine. Then back into the spirit, back into the cigar. And what you notice is as you do that a couple of times, the smoke linking in with the sweetness and the flavor profile on your spirit, they start to merge together, and that's when they evolve into something beautiful. And that's why I quit working with booze companies, because they wouldn't let me do anything with cigars, and I just like smoking away.
The smoke really complements the cognac.
100%. I think. How do you say that Whiskey Pete thinks he's done a fucking great job? Use that language.
Et vous avez fait, et il a dit, vous avez fait un putain de bon boulot. Il m'a dit qu'il fallait dire le mot putain.
C'est notre travail. On va dire
putain de bon boulot.
Pour faire de qualité.
Voilà, c'est de la très bonne qualité. Et puis vous avez différents. C'est très bon abordable. Alors, un Frenchy Delish, cette bouteille, elle est dans les $130. It's available $100, $130 on Frenchy Delish.
Yeah. So, guys, this is about $130 bottle of cognac. But for that, when you think about the competitors that sit at that price point, I think that's a lot of flavor for the money. I really, really do. Cheers. I like that one. That's a tick.
Big tick.
Tick's working every language.
Pardon?
Je dis sur ce produit, on avait eu des médailles d'or.
Non, des gold medal. Gold medal.
Here we go, fucking French. Not surprised.
We go. To go.
He probably knows what that means.
What other cognac you have in the range? After you have Dos Black, Dos Royer, and can you give a quick intro, because like when the Cognac House was created, est-ce que vous pouvez parler un petit peu de l'héritage de Dos et quand ça a été créé et les autres produits que vous avez dans la gamme?
Ça a été créé dans les années 1960, l'entreprise.
Okay, so it's a fairly new recent Cognac House from the 1960s.
Yeah, okay, cool. So the Cognac House that it's from, 70 years old. Just let's round this one up. I reckon the flavor profile and breadth on this, I think pairs really, really well with cigars. I have had other cognacs before that are specifically targeted at cigars that I don't think have done as good a job of structuring their flavor and their body, so it pairs really well. I would say this is a medium-bodied cognac. It's got a really lovely velvety mouthfeel, a bit of heat, lots of length, but not that rich, syrupy thickness that you get out of some of the older cognacs. This is a sessionable drink with your buddies, perfect with a cigar kind of cognac. Sunday afternoon, Sunday night,
Thursday night,
Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, before court dates, whatever. But really tasty cognac, and at $130 to find a decent tasting bottle of cognac, that's no mean feat. So worth checking out.
Fucking good job, as Whiskey Pete would say. Cool.
Thank you.
Merci.
That, guys. Santé.
À la vôtre.
What we're gonna do another tasting with Dos Cognac. Go through the whole range. We're gonna go to the next cognac. I was thinking to do Hein Triomphe, okay, and then after we're gonna go with the Jean Filou Cigar Club. So, Christophe, merci beaucoup. Et on va se refaire.
We appreciate it.
I appreciate the time you took to prepare for the event and to connect with the audience. I know the sound was not the best, etc. But we're gonna do another one where you will have the whole show where we can do the whole range and talk about more the Cognac House. But for now, we're gonna move to the next Cognac House with Robin from Hong Kong.
Thank you.
Merci.
Merci.
Have a good fucking day.
Merci. Passez une bonne journée.
Merci vous aussi.
Have a mad day, eh?
That was a good one.
Yeah, it goes so well with this cigar. Just while we're in between guests, why don't we do just a little bit on cigars and how to bring them together?
Yeah.
You may have noticed when I lit it, guys, I used this blowtorch, which I
You're
love.
gonna do that. I'm gonna get the bottle.
Yeah, go.
I'm
take
gonna
over.
go 5 minutes.
Yeah, go.
And then
That's
you
all right.
talk
I'll be able to talk for 5 minutes. Don't you fucking worry. I'm not gonna hold your shit.
Thank you for the help.
That's all right. There we go. Okay, cool. So, guys, that was all a bit disjointed, and obviously, we actually thought we were getting someone that spoke English. So, don't mind us. We got there in the end. But I hope you stick with us. It'll be a bit more free flowing now. Now, I was lighting my cigar up as we started. You notice I cut it off. I used a flat cut, which where it takes a flat cut off the back. The two alternatives to that is a punch cut, which is basically a hole punch. It takes a little hole out of the back. It's great for beginners in that it preserves more of the cap, so the cigar is less likely to unravel, which is the story I was trying to sort of half tell before. But it does mean the smoke hits further back in your palate before it rolls forward, and it means it's a slightly tighter draw because there's less air that can come through a smaller hole, funnily enough. The third option is a V cut, or what they call a channel cut. This is a very historically American style cut where it just literally takes a V or a channel down one side, and it's great if you chew your cigars a lot. We've all seen American movies where they're playing poker and a guy's got it hanging out the side of his mouth like this and chewing on it and going away, or like a baseball coach or something. So that's kind of that application. Great if you chew your cigars. Personally, I don't do a lot of V cut. I prefer flat cut because it gets more air, gives you a more even burn, and gives you more of that flavor. Now, when pairing cognacs with, when pairing cigars with your cognacs, I alluded to it slightly on that last session. I like to have a couple of sips on my cognac first, roll it around, let it amalgamate with my palate, light my cigar up, couple of puffs, same story, roll it around, blow it out through the nose if you can. Don't do that with your cognac, though. That might hurt. Another sip on the cognac, another puff on the cigar, roll it around. And what you'll notice is those flavors slowly amalgamate together. The smokiness of the cigar and the sweetness that all that brings to your spirit links together, more density and breadth in your spirit. And that's where shit gets really interesting. So if you haven't tried that yet, please do. A couple of sips on your booze, which you've hopefully already done by now. If not, what the fuck are you waiting for? A couple of puffs on the cigar, bring them all together, roll them around. And what you'll notice is that complexity. It just, it's really, for someone that's very talkative, it's really hard to articulate what happens when the two flavors meet. It's definitely more of a showing thing. As I was saying before, my first cognac experience was my second cigar experience with a buddy of mine, James Caton. And it was really, for someone that was so interested in spirits, it just added a whole new facet onto what you could get out of spirits. And when it comes to cigars, as much as I'm a whiskey guy, whiskey is what I love. I love whiskey and cigars, but cognac in many ways lends itself more to cigars than whiskey. Now, I know that's going to offend some people, but let me elaborate. With cognac, they produce it out of grapes, white grapes, actually. It's a common myth that it's red grapes. All the color from cognac comes from the barrel, so it comes out of white grapes. And cognac has to come from the 6 states of cognac, or 6 crus of cognac in France. If not, I'm already on it. If not, it's considered a brandy. So brandy is cognac from around the world in the same way sparkling is carbonated white wine, not champagne. And it's what they call an appellation. Now, but why cognac is such a specialized form of brandy. So all cognac is brandy, but not all brandy is cognac. And it is so specialized because of the minerality in the soil and the styles of grapes they grow. But they produce their distillate and then they age it, and that's known as eau de vie. What makes cognac amazing is the quantity of eau de vie they blend together to add all these different very intentional flavor profiles to the spirit. They'll stack these different flavors together and build it together, and you can have anywhere from 20 different eau de vie. Is probably the least that I've heard of. Otherwise, it's an eau de vie. Otherwise they'll just do one and it's considered eau de vie. Or I've heard of cognacs that have 200, 300, 400. And
like
that brings
13 because it's the cellar master. He's like doing the different notes, the different.
That's
layer.
who we had before.
Yes,
he's the cellar master. Yeah.
Cellar master. And it's like when you compose your music, you have all the different notes. So when you do painting, you have all these different colors to make one expression.
Yeah.
And then the challenge with cognac is that you have to work to make the sense. For example, this Hein Triomphe was created a long time ago, and then
20 years actually, isn't it? It's about. It used to be 20 years when I worked for.
That is 55, between 50 to 60 years old. This one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I think it was 25.
The XO Antique might be around 20.
I don't know.
20.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's good stuff. I love this. Triumph's awesome.
And the challenge was, this is a really good one. That was it's called Hein Triumph. So let's get.
Is that what we're doing next?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. I'm in. So guys, for what here we go. We got someone in already. Rogan, welcome.
Hello, Alex. Yes,
I'm Whisky
I'm doing
Pete.
great. So,
how the hell are you from
Pete.
Australia?
We really enjoyed the place.
Actually at Hong Kong, yes.
So Robin is from
I'm
Hong
not
Kong.
a cellar master,
from,
but yes, Triumph. Yes, I saw your bottle. Can you hear me?
Now, Robin, just for disclosure, I actually launched Hein Cognac in Australia with Island to Island back, 10, 11, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
So I think I came to Australia first.
I think it should be 2012 something, right? And at that time, yes, I saw even a news report about the launch event.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, bud.
Actually, I think the launch of Hein with Island to Island, it was in 2012 or something.
Yeah, 2012.
Right?
There you go. What's that? 8, 9 years?
Yeah.
There you go.
You were both working.
Yeah, actually, I read a lot of historical files.
There you go.
And Hein Triumph,
yes.
When you launch it, so that was to celebrate the end of the phylloxera. Right, because there was a phylloxera, we were talking about it. 1860.
Phylloxera bug. Yeah, why don't you take 2 steps back and talk about what phylloxera was and what it means to the French grape and viniculture industry.
I was just going to get there before you interrupted me.
I'm good like that.
And then
go for it. It's yours.
And then
your shirt too. Did everyone notice you did a costume change?
Yeah. It's like you have a new dish you change.
How French.
So there was a disease, right, that arrived and that destroyed the vineyard in 1850s, 60s, and that was eating the roots of all the wine. And then so we get the American stock roots from the US, what is called is the Uni Blanc, and then after managed to rebuild the vineyard, the Cognac vineyard, and to celebrate the victory, Hein decided to create this blend, the Hein Triumph.
To celebrate conquering the phylloxera bug, which wiped out, I think it was around 85% of all French grapevines in around 1850s, 1860s. What happened? They imported grapevines from the US, and they were hoping to expand and try something new. But the grapevines in the US had this bug which lived in the roots, known as the phylloxera bug. And when they brought it over, the French vines had never experienced this bug, so they hadn't built up evolutionary immunity on it. So it went in and decimated all the French vines. And in fact, the reason I know so much about it is because that's really when the whiskey industry got its hold. Because cognac was doing so well up until then. And because 85% of the grapevines were knocked out in France, they were looking for a dark spirit that was close by that they could put in the hands of Frenchmen to keep them satisfied while the grapevines regrew. And that's when whiskey took off. So that's how I know so much about that story. And to this day, in fact, France is the #1 consumer per capita of single malt in the world. 2.85 liters per person of legal drinking age of single malt. More than anyone in the world.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we sit about 1.65. Yeah, we're about number 16.
Yes.
The cognac is exported. 95% is exported. Where are you guys exporting the cognac? And tell us a bit more about this blend and why it goes with with cognac, with cigars.
Actually, this blend is quite limited, and it was a blend around 50 eau de vies, and all aged over 50 years.
Wow.
And most importantly, it's 100% from the premier cru, so it's Grand Champagne.
Grand Cru, yeah.
Grand Champagne. We were talking about the different cru. This one is a Grand Champagne. So this bottle,
which is the best region for cognac. Full stop, plain and simple. And a lot of the larger cognac houses originally were all Grand Champagne, and over time they started shacking in. They started whacking in a bit of Fin Champagne, Petit, and that kind of thing to slowly build it out, because Grand Champagne is such a small region and it's such a finite resource that it pushes prices up so much. So to have a cognac which is purely a brand of only Grand Champagne eau de vies is quite amazing, and for them to be all 50 years and over. Even Louis Trey can't boast that, right? They're 30 years and over. And Hennessy Richard, again, I think they're 25 to 30 years is where it starts. And that's a 4 grand bottle of cognac.
This is 700, 800 here in Australia, this one.
Exactly.
So you have a much better value for money than the other bigger brand.
See how you opened it, though. I reckon
exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. I'm
like, what are you doing?
What are we doing with it?
So what else should everyone at home know about Hein Triumph? Maybe tell us some stuff about the Hein brand. And I know a bit about it, but maybe talk about what makes you guys so special compared to some more of the more mainstream, heavily marketed cognac houses. Because Hein does some amazing cognacs and eau de vies and some amazing blending and work. But what I love about Hein is they don't waste all their money on marketing, so you get a great quality product for a good price. And I feel like this is your opportunity to talk about that ethos.
Yes. Thank you.
It's important. It's really important.
That's you had a very good knowledge about Hein, and actually Hein, as you may know, that cognac is from France, but actually most of the, I think, certain quantities of cognac houses, actually were founded by Englishmen, and Hein is one of them. And actually, Hein is considered as one of the, I think, should be the most British cognac house. Not only because our founder Thomas Hein is from the UK.
Yeah, and the Royal Warrant on the brand.
Yeah.
Yes, the Royal Warrant. Yeah, even on the Triumph bottle, you will see the Royal Warrant. And Hein is the only cognac house to have this honor. And since 1962, and no other cognac houses have ever got this honor.
That's a proof that cognac house Hein is a good quality, very excellent quality, because you have the warrant, and you
can't tell me that Hennessy, which up until very recently was owned by Louis Vuitton, or is it still?
I think
it still is. No, sorry, they sold R.M. Williams. I'm getting confused, but you can't tell me that a brand like Hennessy wouldn't love to have that crest on the front. A brand that spends so much, millions upon millions upon millions of dollars on marketing, to have a crest like that, which is an acknowledgement on the quality and the flavor, and also the way it's produced, the ethos behind the business. I think it is really important to know.
Boutique, family owned, and they're very independent. So we are not a member of the big groups. So we are just Hein. Very remain boutique and small. And as you just mentioned, that we are not the mainstream brands, but actually we are always able to offer something special, that the products that you are not able to find from other cognac houses. you can find in Hein, like Triumph, like Antique, like Heinz vintage cognacs. And actually, we have a lot of specificity in making great cognacs.
And also in the ultra premium super luxury arena as well with Mariage and you've got
Mariage,
one,
yes.
and one above that as well, the one that comes in the humidor.
Yeah, that's Mariage.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's another as well with the beautiful decanter. I can't remember what it was called.
The crystal decanter Mariage. Yes, and actually that bottle was discontinued because that we don't have that liquid anymore. So
there you go. So my knowledge is a little out of date. My apologies.
How about the cigar reserve that you have? We have Christopher Poulos that left the comment, and he mentioned about the cigar reserve. I think.
I'm not sure if we have it in the Australian market.
It's coming.
Oh, it is.
And
will
French coming.
Yes, I will be the only one. I will be the only one have it.
Exclusive.
Yeah, that's right.
And maybe we should we can organize some cigars if you want to do a pairing as a gift pack or something.
Yeah,
we can work that out.
Cigar and
what do you think,
reserve.
guys? If we get
Hello, sorry, there was just a cut, and I remember that you mentioned about cigar reserve, right?
Yeah, the cigar reserve. That's right. I know there's a lot of people in the Cognac Lover Australia Facebook group. They are keen to get the cigar reserve. It's a popular.
Internationally regarded. I don't know why we didn't get it. I pushed for it, but they wouldn't do anything with tobacco. So
actually, this year marks the 25th anniversary of Cigar Reserve. 25th anniversary of Cigar Reserve. It was created together with UK cigar importer Hunters and Franco.
All right.
And actually, just to find the UK cigar importer. Yeah. Because Hein is, the style of Hein is very elegant, very delicate.
Velvet, silk.
This is
silk, like dense silk, right? You could take a thick layer of silk
exactly.
and run it over your mouth. That it's not an imposition, but the length of flavor that I've always got out of Hein is what I loved about it. Is it just hangs around for ages. And when you're talking about value in premium spirits, right? Like it's an $800 bottle that's for 20 minutes with every sip, better value than a $30 bottle that you taste for 20 seconds. Well, probably, actually, even though it's less volume, if you're buying it for flavor and it's about flavor and it's about the occasion, it makes sense. And for a 50-year-old cognac, a minimum of 50 years old, everything in that bottle is a minimum
55 on average.
55 on average. There you go.
Yeah.
But everything's a minimum of 50. To buy that in whiskey, that starts at $4,000 and then goes up.
Yeah, I'm not
there.
surprised.
If you're lucky,
I'm not surprised.
50-year-old whiskey is at 25, 50. And the same with cognacs as well. You look at Hennessy Richard. You look at Louis Trey, which is Remy Martin. Cordon Bleu. Whatever the fuck it is from Martel, I've forgotten. But all cognacs have less quality statistics or run sheet than this does, and this is 20% of the price.
And that's why I love Hein cognac so much.
This is
the quality, and that's why you work for it.
I'm a massive fan of Hein. You can talk me into a bottle of Hein any day.
Same.
If you haven't drunk a lot of cognac before, or if you have drunk a lot of cognac before and you haven't tried Hein cognac, do yourself a favor and get your Heine some Hein.
Available on FrenchyDelish.com.
French.com.
It's a good one. I've been doing a lot of tastings, and for people that don't know,
it's a crowd pleaser, right?
Yeah.
Always a crowd pleaser.
People love it. You have the VSOP, very easy to drink. You have the XO Antique, total different.
Beautiful
flavors.
Packaging. Beautiful, but it tastes awesome as well. Don't worry about the packaging. Worry about the flavor. But you get the packaging as well.
So, what flavors do you have in this cognac?
Tasting notes.
Triumph, right? So basically, this is quite a supple cognac, and you got really the rancio of all the cognac. The rancio, you know the word in French. So which means that's really very old cognacs, and because the eau de vie is all, the eau de vie are all aged over 50 years, so you have more caramelized apple chocolate. Yeah, these kind of flavors.
Yeah. Toffee,
and even licorice.
There is that slight
caramelized
anise on the finish as it evaporates off.
Licorice.
Yeah.
Yeah, licorice.
I find very good.
And actually, the aftertaste is quite long.
The finish is very long, like you said.
Amazing length. To give you an idea, this isn't the first time I've tried this cognac before. To give you an idea on how much I love this cognac, when I quit my job at Island to Island, the day before, I bought a case of this on staff pricing, and that was and some whiskeys as well. But I bought a case of this because Triomphe, Pine Triomphe is amazing. Staff pricing was even better, but it's just really, really great premium quality cognac that they haven't spent all the money on marketing and packaging. Yeah. You get what you pay for tenfold on this. That's all I'm going to say. It's just great.
And actually, this cognac was the best cognac in the world in 2005.
I believe it.
It's international wine and spirits competition.
I'm not surprised.
It's everything cognac should be.
Yeah.
There you go.
And actually, Hein, we don't produce these Triumph at large quantities. We only produce upon demand, so it's very limited.
Very limited production.
Well, I might pour myself some more then, just in case I don't get another chance for a while.
Help yourself.
Don't mind me.
Top me up.
You want to top up? I love this. So good. I haven't had this in about 5 years. It's so good. I missed it. Awesome. Is there anything else Is there anything else we should know about Triumph before we roll on?
Oh yeah, maybe cigars, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about how it links together.
What do you think would be some good cigar pairing? Because I know Christopher Pullers that is watching here. Aquilas, they love the cigar, they love the cognac. So if you can point out from your perspective what type of
and then
cigar.
I can jump in if you like. I mean, give yours and then we'll go together and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, actually, there is a lot of the similarities between cigar and the cognacs because both are embodies fine craftsmanship. A lot of work behind it and a lot of time, and even the process is quite similar. Cognac, we have double distillation. And
double or triple fermentation,
double fermentation.
Tobacco for cigars.
Yes, exactly. Yes, there are a lot of similarity, and even some cigars they even have their appellation, right? Like Habanos, right?
Cuban or
So cigar and cognac pairing, and it's really very classic, and it's really a classic and a timeless pairing. And I think most important is the balance, just like food and wine pairing. So I think balance is more important, and just very similar to food and wine pairing. So food and cognac.
I think
with their lighter. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Just further to what you were saying. What I found, like obviously, I learned booze first and learned tobacco second. But what I found was very similar, and probably more similar between cognac and the cigar industry more than any other spirit, is the way that they build flavor. So, with your ODs and different barrels, they all add different flavors and a different thing which they marry together in order to create cognac. With cigars, completely the same. You add leaves for flavor.
Yes, exactly.
Aromatics. So this I bought a couple of leaves along just in case anyone wanted to see. I roll cigars, so I just had a couple. These are just sort of scrappy ones. I'm at the tail end of my batch. I've got some others sitting on the dock in LA at the moment. So that'll be fun to get them in. But so when you roll a cigar or you even design a brand new cigar, you've got to build in your aromatics, your flavor, and your structure. But you want to make sure you hit different tasting notes to build it out so it's got a full-bodied experience that touches multiple parts of your tongue instead of just tasting like one thing the whole way through. And the way they build complexity into a cigar is 100% exactly the same way they build complexity into a cognac. And to have a cognac, did you say it was 50 eau de vie that went into this one?
Yes, around 50.
So to bring 50 different eau de vie, 50 different barrels together theoretically, or different flavors of brandy, to put them all together, each one of those 50 are there for a reason. Now, you know, with each one adding 2% to your spirit, that's a lot of subtlety you've got to pick up on. And it's the same in tobacco, and the same with aging as well. The longer you age your cigars, the smoother, more rounded, more mellow, more caramelized they are. The same as the longer you age your spirit in the barrel, not in the bottle.
Actually, I didn't realize
but the comparison between how they build flavor into cognac through the blending of eau de vie to how they build flavor into a cigar through the blending of tobacco. Same process, same ethos, and I've never thought about it that way until you mentioned it, Roland. So I appreciate that. You're 100% right.
Yes, exactly. And there is a lot of similarities. And actually, for cognac and cigar pairing, I would suggest, like, if it's an older cognac, it should be paired with richer,
darker,
more robust cigar.
Yeah.
So
So I'd say medium to full-bodied cigar on this. You could get what we're smoking currently is this is a Quintero Favoritos. It's a cheapie. It's around the $35-$40 mark retail price.
Is it medium?
It's a medium body. This for me would connect totally Monte Cristo. Anything that has a little bit of Maduro in it, which is a darker, richer tobacco, but not too much. But Monte 2 all over, which is a torpedo cigar. I think it won Cigar of the Year in 2013, somewhere around there. Partagas for sure, and Cohiba. This is a Cohiba blend, basically.
Yeah, Cohiba.
It goes so well.
Cohiba Robusto,
which is the only triple fermented Cuban cigar as I know it, which adds that another layer of complexity, and it also releases more ammonia out of it. So it's soft, velvety, and approachable in the same way. But if you're looking for three Cuban cigars to pair with this, Monte Cristo, Partagas, Cohiba, for sure. Cohiba Robusto with this Cohiba Escondido would be amazing. But, you know, I own an events agency, so after COVID, I'm on a budget.
I'm totally new to cigar, but I didn't realize there was so much complexity as well going on in cigars. Then you could do aging of the cigar. You had the different layers, and then that is very similar to cognac, and how you can match the velvetiness of the cigar. And
like how he touched his shirt, just so everyone knows. He's in premium fabric here. Only for till the end of this one, then he'll probably have another one on as well, another shirt.
And there's a similarity between the two words, and then you have a lot of craftsmanship as well. I don't know if you have appellation.
Yeah, of course. Cuban cigars, that's an appellation. If it's from Cuba, it's a Cuban cigar that's appellated.
So very similar.
And terroir, craftsmanship. Yes.
In so many ways, but I guess probably time to round this one up. My opinion, ask me. I'm biased. I love this cognac. If you haven't tried it before, you have to try it. This is all cognac start at Triomphe and go down from there. If you want to enter the world of excellence at a crazy price, then you have to go with the high. You want $6,000 worth of cognac for $800? That's the bottle. Done. In all my
FrenchDelish.com.
Cool, Robin. I really appreciate again.
Thank you, Robin. Lovely to meet you.
Come in the meeting.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Really meeting, more like chat.
Yeah.
But we've done a few already. That's our second one. What should we do the third one? We do the cigar blend, I think.
Yeah, we're taking up an item of clothing each time, right?
Yeah, Cigar Reserve, exactly. Yeah, it's a fantastic product.
Okay. Cool. Well, maybe you can sponsor us a bottle for the next one then. And we'll promote the fuck out of it. There we go. Done.
Yeah, really big. Well, thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Whiskey Pete.
Tell your friends.
Awesome.
There we go. It's us. So, chin, man. That whether we're on camera or not, I've always loved this cognac. I haven't had it in about 5 years. That's when I ran out. But I appreciate you bringing me back to it because it's every bit as good as I remember it, and I love this cognac, and it's just so rich.
The emotion
and
give you a lot of emotion.
Look at me. I'm like a kid in a school. It's different to whiskey in that it's got more complexity in the sweet flavors. So let me explain. So with whiskey, right, you create your distillate, and most of the sweetness and the flavor that comes out of it, about 65% comes from the do other things. But what I love about cognac is because it's based on grapes, which obviously is a sugar forward fruit, whereas whiskey being based on malted barley, which brings sugars out in a carbohydrate item. But what I love about cognac is the complexity of that sweet note, because grapes are sweet and have so much sugar, and then you're blending all these different barrels together which have had this beautiful sugary booze in it, and then you blend and all these different flavors that are coming from the different oaks, and you're bringing it together. What cognac does different to whiskey is whiskey has complexity for sure, slightly more savory. If you like something slightly sweeter, but with the complexity in the sweet note, you know how sugar is just the one flavor note, but then you try molasses or treacle or caramel or butterscotch or whatever. Cognac has all of that together, and that does it better than any other cognac I've had before. And I've drunk, it's the most expensive cognac I had, probably a Louis XIII Black Pearl, which is about 30K a bottle.
Wow.
Back then, it's probably 50 now.
So how was it? Was it worth the hype?
It's wank factor. This is better. I'd take this over that any day.
I never had the Louis XIII. That would be the best.
I work for Louis XIII as well. I work for Remy. I'd take this over like the packaging on Remy. Nicer, 100%. Yeah, it's beautiful. But flavor-wise, I would take that every day of the week, without a shadow of a doubt.
And you have beautiful legs on this one. And we didn't talk about those ones, but you can see it's very.
I think we talked about it enough. I think we've sold it pretty hard.
Yeah,
there you go. Different I started getting into the high now. I have a humidor stock with Monty's also and Cahibas. Perfect. I can't Facebook user. I can't see who you are because you've come in through Facebook.
I'm gonna share this comment.
This with Cahibas will go really well. Partagas Series D number 4. I can totally see it working with maybe even the P2s. That's probably all I'm trying to think what else in Partagas. I'll give it a go. That's probably where I'd leave it at there. Siglo 6 on Cahibas, the Robustos for sure, Esplendidos, any of the Behikis or Maduro 5 range with this. If you like Maduro cigars, which are a bit darker and richer, all of that would go amazingly with this.
We're gonna leave that into the show notes, so you have all the details.
Alex will prep it. I'm not doing shit.
I'm not gonna ask you again.
I'll get John to talk about it though.
Yeah,
no worries.
I'm gonna watch the recording and then we're gonna get it. So should we move to the next one, the final one after Suna?
Yeah, I gotta say I feel bad for it to follow after Trion.
It might surprise you.
Yeah, I have had this cognac before once, and it was the first time I ever went overseas. I was in Dubai airport, and I bought a box of it wasn't a box actually. It came in a ceramic humidor sort of container. It was Partagas P1s. Chris Poulos, you might know Partagas P1s. They're tiny little full-bodied flavored bombs.
Chris would know.
And I bought a bottle of this, and I bought a bottle of one of the Travel Macallans, the maroon one. I can't remember what they called them. And sat by the pool in EOS for 3 weeks and smoked and drank all of them. But I remember this being a reasonably full-bodied cognac, slightly spicy, and not quite as sweet as something like this. Booze is that's all I remember. But which is weird because when I drink it, I remember nothing. Which is maybe that's why.
I totally agree with you with the spiciness. No,
it was more akin to. For those of you that like whiskey, it was more akin to rye whiskey. It had that spice and body to it, and my palate probably wasn't at a point where I appreciated it
so it's
as much as I hope I do now. Yeah, totally.
It's a revisit.
Yeah, and it had a sting to it back then. It had some heat, but also I was more.
We just went for this one because we had Robin in a waiting room. I was planning to get this one.
Finish on that?
Yeah, but I saw Robin was there, so I'm like, I know he's gonna go on, and then let's get Robin in, and then he can go on.
Totally. And is this who imports this one? Is this
this one is Sabaco?
Right. Yeah, right. And it's Manu.
No, he's not here.
Is he joining?
No, he won't
All
be
right.
joining us. He sent me a message earlier. So Jean Filou, it's a good one. We're gonna
Why don't we?
we're gonna
we'll
talk.
pull
We're
that
gonna
one
put that on the
down.
platform.
I'll put this next to that one, so
Yeah.
they're all like in shot.
Yes. the
Yeah,
money
there we
shot.
go.
Like this is beautiful. It's so nice that we have to give a platform to those small cognac house like this.
To be, I love about what you do in your business. And I've been involved with spirits for cognac is basically get your product right first and then worry about sending that message and getting it in front of people. But it's nice to have a pretty bottle for waiter every now and then, but to spend $5,000 for something that tastes tastes nowhere near as good as something that's 800. It just, the economics don't work for me, but I understand the application in a Vegas nightclub or a Macau casino for sure.
And totally, I think it's good as well to have those big cognac house in the market because they have a low marketing budget, and then they bring awareness to the cognac category.
They create consumers, and then we educate them on where they should be.
Yeah, and then after it passes the way to the other cognac house that don't have the same budget.
Mm-hmm.
Of Hennessy is the Filou family.
Right, there you go.
So they have been club from Jean Filou, which is from the same family of.
I think I had a 700 when I bought it. Does it come in multiple sizes? What size is that?
This one is 20 centimeters.
200 mils?
Yeah.
Yeah.
200 mils.
Yeah.
20 centimeters roughly.
Centiliters. Yeah.
And then normally it's 700 ml.
Mm-hmm.
But I got.
What's this go for a bottle?
So the whole
from Frenchy Delish.
From Frenchy Delish, you have it full price 230, the 700 ml one.
Yeah, and what's everyone else sell it for? 250, 300?
260, 250.
And that you don't promote that so much, but because Alex obviously deals with wholesalers, doesn't have fixed store costs and that kind of thing. The prices that Frenchy Delish brings to you guys are way more competitive because he doesn't have the fixed costs. And that's the beautiful thing about the internet, right?
We're lean. Let's get this one. Grand Champagne. Okay, so the finest growth area. And then this is a 35-year-old cognac.
So what, $200? 200, and XO now is what, a minimum 12. It starts at XO 12 to 20. Is that so? Yeah. So you look at a Hennessy XO, which is $300 a bottle. The age statement on that is from 12 to 20 years old. This is 30, 35, and it's 50% cheaper.
Yes.
That's why you drink smaller cognac with cognac. Like most of the whiskey I like to drink and I buy for myself is independent bottlings. It's companies that buy a cask and they'll age it to when they think that it's best and bottle it. Because when you pay for marketing, you pay for. I work for booze companies for 10 years. I know the dollars that go into marketing of booze. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they just focus on the product.
Buy for quality, buy for flavor, do your research, learn, it'll pay off. Plus, you'll have a great time learning about it anyway.
Totally different aroma.
Totally. More savory, much more savory. Dried apricots, for sure.
Apricot, yeah.
Nutty, almost macadamias. It's kind of... Macadamias have like a creamy oiliness to it, which is kind of going on.
Usually, you have this nuttiness in the older cognac. When you have the rancho coming, you have this nuttiness, mushroom as well.
When you have what coming? The rain?
The rancho.
What's that?
Rancho.
Yeah. Like rancid, like mold and stuff.
R-A-N-C-I-O, rancho. Yeah. So that's the word they use when there's for older cognac, and you have a little bit like the mold, but actually it's more like a mushroom.
Fungus.
Wood, fungus.
Wood fungus.
But in a good way.
Well, like cheese. Blue cheese is fungus, right?
Yeah.
But it's also
so yummy.
But I know it doesn't sound appealing, but I don't mind that. I was just letting it sit. There's not the same complexity to it as Triumph, of course, but that was going to be said straight away. And the spiciness that I remember, the way what this cognac does that the previous one didn't, is it kind of sits on your tongue and dance and has like an
before?
Yeah, don't mind me. I was snuck one. It's got an electricity to it. It's like tingling on the tongues, and there's one whiskey that does the same thing that this is doing, and only one whiskey I've ever found, which is up and down, and this does the same thing. It rolls from front to back to back to front to front to back to back to front.
I think there is like the spiciness to it.
Total spiciness to it.
Cedar wood as well. I felt woody, more woody than the other one, but not like wood, like cigar.
Yes, it's wood, less treacle and less molasses and those kind of, which are rum tasting notes. But it doesn't. This is a more savory, woody cognac than those guys, which are much more sweet, later night dessert kind of cognacs. This is this is not so much the kind of cigars you would pair this with would be more like a H, and this is for you, Mr. Poulos.
Mr. Poulos,
a H. Upmann, this is in Cuban cigars, Ramon Alones, the stuff that's a little bit drier, a little bit more savory, sandalwood, woody kind of complexity, spice. There's sweetness there, but you don't want, like a Maduro cigar would overpower this, I believe, because of those coffee chocolate notes, a lot darker than the body that's going on in this, right?
So you want something to overpower.
D'Orsay is another cracker for this. Some of the Gurkha cigars for non-Cubans would go really well with this. Padrons, some of them would work. But it's a more savory option. This is a blue cheese cognac. This would go amazing with those kind of cheeses, because it doesn't have the same depth and sweetness, but in a good way. I actually like this a lot more than 10 years ago when I bought the bottle, so I'm really pleased about that.
You became a man since then.
Well, I've smoked a few cigars and drunk a few more glasses of booze since then. $200 bottle, though, that totally makes sense. For those of you that like a slightly more savory drink, cocktail, cigar, slightly drier on the palate, this is where you want to play. This is the driest of the three, but pleasantly so, but not in a negative way. Like my grandma used to make me lemon cordial when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And she'd always do like 30 to 50% lemon cordial and then water. And there was that dry, powdery taste left over. When I say dry, the dryness from this is coming from a combination of the ethanol, the alcohol, and the tannins in the oak. It's more tannic than the other two.
It is more tannic,
yeah. But in a positive way.
Yeah.
Not in a wine way where you buy a cheap $5 bottle of Aldi Red and it's a piece of shit and it's tannic and dry and dries your mouth out. This works so well, but you don't want a complete, full-bodied, rich, sweet, dense cigar with it. You want something a little bit more reserved. Like H. Upmann I just see H. Upmann all over with this, like the Epicure No. 2, which is probably the most widely circulated H. Upmann cigar. That with this, we can do that next time if you like. That's the cigar.
All these names, it's like I have no idea about all these cigars. I'm glad that you're able to share your knowledge like this. I'm sure the people will appreciate Christopher Poulos. He was asking Aquilas as well a lot of questions about cigars.
Yeah,
and it's the first time I hear so many cigars names.
Yeah, well, there's a lot, but there's a trick to it, right? Because you learn each house, like Partagas or Cohiba, they all have their own sort of flavor profile. So once you learn the flavor profile, it's about size. So how long you want to smoke for, and the thinner the ring gauge, the less amount of leaves they're going to get in, the less complex it's going to be. The thicker it is, the more complex it's going to be. The longer it is, the longer you're going to. The number one selling Cuban cigar in the world. That's a Robusto cigar. You learn the few basics, and then you learn the different sizes. So they've got Siglo in Cohiba. There's Siglo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the best. 1 is the smallest. You just learn 6 new cigars, and it's all about how long you want to smoke for, the level of complexity. What I like about these cigars, these are Quintero Favoritos. These are the best bang for buck. Short fills, so they use the offcuts of the more which means towards the end it may fall apart a bit, but it gives you a great flavor. In the same way of what Triumph does.
Yeah, no,
is what do, but they do it obviously in a more premium way. But it's the same. It's do it. Don't tart the packaging up. Whack good flavor in the one bottle and
Whiskey Pete.
French Alex.
We started with the cigar blend from Do.
We did
with the Cella Master that was talking French. That was so good. Then after went to
that's an oversight. Anyway.
I love it.
But that's the joy. That's the joys of live TV, right?
And it's good to speak French. It's my native tongue. And then after we have Triumph.
I wish I could.
Oh, yeah, I know you know some French.
Well, my girlfriend's name's Angelique, which is French, so I can say that.
Tell her tonight, ma chérie.
Angelique, yeah.
Ma chérie.
Yeah.
And then the Hein Triumph, and then the cigar club. So, if you have to have one cigar, which one is it for this one?
Great. This is actually really good. If I had to have one cigar to pair with this cognac, it would be Monte Cristo Edmundo. Monte Cristo Edmundo, it uses a lot of Maduro tobacco, dark tobacco. It's got coffee, chocolate flavors, but it has this sweetness and floral note that really brightens the whole cigar, and it's almost fruity and tropical. That 100% or double Edmundo for Mr. Poulos there as well.
Because we Monte Cristo pineapple in there.
Yeah,
the sweetness.
Monte Cristo Edmundo and double Edmundo, I find are the most tropical flavored cigars.
Yeah. Because we're talking about the tropical flavors.
This is if you're going to drink cognac on the beach in the French Riviera, drink that and do it with a Monte Cristo Edmundo.
If you're in Australia, just go on the beach or the coast.
Balmoral, down the road.
Then this one, which one? Which cigar would you get?
Look, if you can find it, this is totally the cognac to pair with a Cohiba Bahiki 56. It's complex.
What is that?
Sweet. It's rich. Well, when I was in Cuba, I came back with. I probably shouldn't put this on camera, but anyway, I'm going to do it anyway. I came back with 300. I came back with 300 Cohiba Maduro 56s, which are it's 100.
Allegedly,
I think they're allegedly. I think it was about 150, 100. Chris Poulos will know. 150, 180 bucks a stick over here now, if you can find it, but you can't. And I sold half, smoked half. So that's how I paid for my trip, allegedly. But complex and rich. They're triple fermented. They use a specialist breed of tobacco in there. It's super expensive, super premium.
Yeah,
they're like $200 cigar. But anything Cohiba with this, but the darker the Cohiba, the better. The Maduro series will go really well. Or if you can find yourself a Bushido or something interesting like that, do that as well. And
then at the end, we had this one, which was a bit more on the woody note. More nose.
Totally.
It was a
that's totally H. Upman Epicure number 2. That's about a
I like it.
$50 to a $70 cigar where you buy it from, give or take. Oh, there we go. Chris Poulos, 18-month age versus 6.5 months.
And I put that on the big screen.
Anyway, I was just trying to link it in. Oh, hello, Benjamin John Fitzpatrick. Thank you. Sorry.
Hey, Benjamin.
I know I said Facebook user before. But with this, slightly more savory, not quite as sweet cigars. The tobacco wouldn't necessarily need to be aged for as long either on this. It's slightly younger cigars would work as well because tobaccos caramelizes and becomes sweeter as you age it for longer as well. So H. Upman, maybe Ramon Alones, K. de Orsay. That's for Cuban cigars.
A light one, not too overpowering.
Medium bodied, but medium color on the wrapper. One of the big tricks with cigars, and it's so simple, is rule of thumb, not always, but about 98% of the time, the lighter the wrapper, the lighter the cigar.
The wrapper. What's the wrapper?
The tobacco on the outside, the bit that wraps around the outside. This bit. So when I finish mine, I'll unwrap it. So not always, but for the most part, that will give you an indication on the flavor profile in the cigar. The lighter, Not always, but the lighter it is, the darker, the richer it is.
The lighter and darker the leaves is, the richer the cigar would be, as a rule of thumb.
Rule of thumb.
Oh, it's good for a newbie like me.
Exactly.
Like to remember.
Mr. Paul, I still agree with that, I'm sure. But like, you have a look at a Pardas, it's richer, it's deeper, it's more mature tobacco. You have a look at a H. Upman, it's like, it does have some Maduro in it, but it's a lighter, woodier, earthier kind of tobacco, and that's the earthiest of the cognacs we've had. Not like dirt, but it's just more minerality to it, and it tastes more like the spirit, less like the barrel. The two cognacs before that taste more like the barrel, less like the spirit. I've got to say, and you can see it in the color as well. These guys are darker, and this guy's lighter, which means we're tasting more of the spirit there, like the original distillate, and there we're tasting more of the barrel. That is a good favorite. My passport ran out in November, so 10 years and 3 months ago I had a bottle of that, and I didn't appreciate it in the same way as I did just then.
Because
thank you.
No, but that's my pleasure.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Our pleasure to try good cognac. This one, and then this filou here is not so woody, and often cognac drinker, they will look at the cognacs and oh, this is dark, it's aged.
This is more expensive.
Yeah,
what is deep flavored spirit caramels that they popped in.
Yeah, that's right. Because they maybe they use the wood, younger cognac cask that would give more wood. And
or they color. Char it longer, so there's 4 different levels of char as well. You get more color from char level 4. There's different tricks and tips, but
and it takes some balls, I would say, to do a lighter aged cognac, because like you will not be so dark, and you have to.
Why don't we summarize these quickly for everyone?
Let's go.
So, cognac number 1, sweet, rich, all day drinking cognac. If you haven't had much cognac before, that is totally the cognac you want to grab off the table. $130.
Yeah.
FrenchieDelish.com.au.
Yes. Or .com.
Yeah, good. .com. Number 2, Hein Triomphe. Super premium quality cognac in a basic looking bottle. If you want to taste what cognac is meant to taste like, I know it's $800, and I don't often throw my weight behind spirits like this because, especially in a category that I don't normally talk about it, but I do know a lot about. I've loved Triomphe since I came into contact with it, apparently in 2012. It shows you how much I was drinking and doing around then. Oh shit! Sorry,
when the party starting.
Broke the glass. There we go.
The party starts.
Hein Triomphe, killer cognac, great value, but obviously on the higher side. And then, how do you pronounce this? Oh, thanks, Jean Filou.
Jean Filou.
Yeah, good. That.
Jean Filou.
We're looking at what, $230 in a 700 ml bottle. Now, this is a cognac that is different to every other cognac I've had in my life. If you have had some experience with cognac and you are looking to expand your knowledge with it and to taste different flavors in the cognac realm, this is the most savory of any of the cognacs I've had. And that's a very rare thing to come by. Would go amazingly with cheese and a cheese board, charcuterie, amazing with cigars as well. I would say this is more of an intermediate cognac. If you've had a few under your belt, if you've tried a few VSOPs or a couple of XOs, and you want to go a little bit more niche and really expand your knowledge of the origins of cognac and the breadth of what the cognac category can be, that's where you want to be.
Very fine,
ready?
Excellent quality.
Beginner, intermediate, advanced, that I didn't even realize we were going to do that. Or if you can afford it, beginner will love this as well. If you've got some cash in your pocket, grab that. But that's my summary.
I was surprised by this.
I've never had that. That was amazing for
the
money.
I do blind testing, I
take that over a bottle of VSOP any day from anyone.
Yeah,
there is not a bottle of VSOP I would prefer, and they're all $100 or so now, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's above. Yeah. So I was really surprised. This one, my all-time favorite, very velvety.
Can't say more kind words about it than I already have. Really Otherwise, I think excellent. I'm on the payroll.
And then the Jean Filou, I never tried this one, and then I was so happy to try the Cigar Club.
I love that it shows another facet of cognac. This is the Riesling of cognac. It's got its sweetness there, but it's got that acidity and bite to it as
mineral,
well.
Huh?
Yeah, minerality, which is very strong in Riesling as well. So when I you see what I mean when you try it, it's sweet, acidity, and bite, and savory all together.
Yeah,
guys, if you love cognac, you need to try all three. But you know, you've heard our thoughts. I think there's the great value for sure.
Yeah.
Do we want to say anything else?
But yeah, just those. If you want, you can
hit up Frenchy Delish.
Yeah, testing pack. You have testing pack as well.
Oh yeah,
30 ml or 60 ml bottles. So my goal
is... Are
you
still going to do the tasting packs with the cigars?
If people want it, yes, of course.
So guys, if you want to try everything we've had tonight with the 3 cognacs, what are you doing? 30 or 60 mils of each? What do you decide?
You have the option. You have.
You can
choose 30 or 60 ml. Depends on your budget. Because I want to make sure that people can try the good stuff. So that's why I do the 30 ml for this one. If you want more, then 60 ml. If you want the whole bottle, then you can get all. But like the point is to get people to try
totally
and get the taste in their mouth and have the emotion and then to try it.
And they find that at FrenchyDelish.com.
That's the one.
Yeah, and it also comes with the Quintero Favoritos, the cigar we had this evening, and had a beautiful time nursing whilst drinking.
Thank you for bringing the cigar.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for the booze.
I don't really drink.
And thank you for your time, guys. We appreciate you hanging around for so long with technical difficulties and everything. That was awesome. But guys, before we finish up, it might be worth taking a note. Number one, just to acknowledge Alex for all the effort he put in to organize this. Obviously, you can tell people internationally, it takes a lot to juggle it. But also, you know, I don't believe you've done heaps of these before, but it'd be great if you could comment and ask other things that you would like in it or some feedback so we know what we can bring to you. Because, you know, he's a resource. I'm a resource. We're here to talk about some booze which he sells, and it'd be great if he sells a few bottles. But if he doesn't, that's cool too, because that's not what we're here for. We are here to educate and help you along your journey. That's why I'm here. Yeah. This doesn't do anything to benefit me. This is because I believe it's very important to help encourage you along your journey, and we want to support you by answering any questions you have or any things you'd like to know in the future or things you'd like us to talk about in the future, or if you think we should do this again, or if you thought it was a complete fucking waste of time. But if you did think it was a complete fucking waste of time, why the hell?
We do it again.
Yeah, why the hell?
It's a great waging with all the broken glass. Yeah, Christopher Poulos is a
well, Mr. Poulos, I'm part Greek too, so we break shit all the time. Mostly crockery though.
It's to help you with your journey as well, your cognac journey, and also to help the cognac house to reach the cognac connoisseur that are willing to spend some time to discover new booze. And to connect with the French heritage, with the cognac region, where I feel I'm connected because I'm from France, and then to bring that here. I'm really happy. We got a nice little community. We can spend some time to talk about it, bring some people along and connect.
Build some fucking passion in the motherfucker.
That's right.
And some swearing, right? Have you ever watched a masterclass or whatever we call this about cognac with as much bogan and bogan accents and swearing as this?
Oh my God!
You're welcome. You'll only find it here. See, that's a cigar.
Let us know about what Whisky Pete say. You know, like if it's a specific thing you want to say. Next cognac house, I'm thinking De La Main or Frappin. If you have a special cognac house, just let me know. There's so many.
Tell us what you want. We will give you what you want. We just want to know what you want, right? If there's something you want to learn about, whether it's cognac or any other spirit, yes, we're here to talk about Frenchy Delish. But that's like we're passionate about helping Alex's business, but we're passionate about helping you more. Questions about anything now or in the future, send Alex a message. We will get any question you have on anything to do with tobacco or booze. We will get it answered within 24 hours. So this is, you can send it to me, whatever. We're your resource, and we are here to help you guys. So come to us, tell us what you need.
That's so good.
We are here to help. And this is what booze is changing and morphing into, right? I did 10 years with booze companies, which are worried about marketing budgets, profit, and fucking people over. This is about bringing the person and the people back into spirits, because that's what's important about drinking. It's about people. And if it's not about people, you're probably drinking by yourself. And, you know, we've all been there, but maybe it's time to invite a friend over and you know, legitimize it.
It's important to the people behind the spirit. And also I want to acknowledge the industry, a lot of people working behind it, and as well Whisky Pit,
Oh, don't worry about me.
Yeah, don't worry, but a little bit.
I got my earnings in cognac.
And then he takes some time to share his knowledge, giving away all that he knows about the cognac, about the cigar. So I'm really happy I'm able to share his experience and his knowledge with you. It's very valuable. So thank you.
Booze tastes better when you share it with friends. So we better put some in your glass.
Let's go and
maybe let's wrap this up.
Yes.
Let's cheers all these guys, and then we'll pour.
Cheers,
then we'll do the loose party and invite all the strippers over, right? Right. Thank you guys. We appreciate you hanging out and giving us your time. You know, however long we've been on here, 2 hours of your time on a Thursday night. We really appreciate it.
Thank
you. I appreciate
I love you all of it.
And guys, you should be appreciating this dude. He put a lot of effort into this. He coughed up all the booze and that kind of stuff as well. So you know, definitely support the guys that are supporting you. We're here to give you whatever you want. You want to find this, FrenchieDelish.com. I haven't done a lot with social media lately, but if you want to follow me on
Whisky Pete
at Whisky Pete _ no E and Whiskey
_ is I've been tagging Whisky Pete a lot in the recent posts. So go.
You'll find me. That's all right. All my business is Gentleman's Cabinet, but I got a couple other businesses. They're all coming through. Hopefully, you'll see me again. If Alex will have me again, we can do this. So
should I have him again?
Should he stay or should he go?
Vote.
Righto. Well, we're going to continue.
Thank
we're
you,
going to do a
guys.
few more cognacs. Thank you, guys. Have a great Thursday. Happy New Year, because I haven't done a video.
And stay strong in the new year.
Boom.
Boom. Bye.